This is TY back with another video, and today, man, I wanted to talk about, well, first of all, before I even talk about it, I just want to put out a disclaimer because I know people are going to probably bash me, comment, and say I'm hating and this and that, but I'm not. Let me just put this out here, man. Listen, I'm a huge Tank fan. I like Tank. I like what he's done. I think he's a tremendous talent. I think that, you know, he is what I think he's one of the best, but you know, I this is just a disclaimer. This is just a disclaimer to put out there that look, I don't have no issues with Tank. I like Tank, man. I really do. So I just want to say that, and I don't want nobody to think that, oh, I'm hating or this and that. It's none of that, man. None of that at all. It's all love on my end. But the thing that I want to talk about, man, today is about Tank is that I want to say that the time is now. The time is now for Tank, man. I just think that, you know, after his fight with Rolly, you know, he said in his interview with Brian Custer that, you know, hey, you know, if Devin wins, you know, let's fight. So, you know, I think that fight needs to happen. You know, there's no reason for that fight not to happen. There shouldn't be no excuses. There shouldn't be nothing. Devin Haney has all the belts. Why not challenge Devin Haney for all the belts at Undisputed? You know, there's so much talent and there's so many fighters out there for Tank to fight. I'm just about done seeing Tank fighting guys that don't really deserve to be in the ring with him, or we know that Tank is gonna beat him. You know, I'm done with it, man. And like I said, I'm not bashing Tank at all. Because, you know, Tank does his thing. But the thing is that it's time for Tank to do his thing against top opposition now. You know, he's 27, 28. He's almost 30. Like, bro, it's time for him to step up and fight guys that is, you know, that is up in the upper echelon in the divisions. You know, whether it be at 135, whether it be at 140, wherever. But it's time, though. It is time for Tank to step up, man. I mean, there's too many fighters out there that he could fight. I mean, he's got Devin Haney. He could fight Devin Haney. That would be a huge fight. You could put that fight in Atlanta, which I think that would be huge. You could put it there. You could possibly put it in L.A. You could put it in New York. Wherever it goes, it could go. I think that fight should happen because I believe that fight is huge. You know, so I believe, he could fight Devin Haney. He could fight Lomachenko. You know, Lomachenko's been calling out Tank for years. For years, Lomachenko called him out. And there was too many times where anytime somebody would ask Tank about Lomachenko, he had no interest. And even Floyd didn't have no interest in wanting Tank to get in the ring with Loma. And then the only time that he ever thought about or wanted to put Tank in the ring with Loma was when Floyd and Tank had problems within each other. And so then that's when Floyd had threatened to say, you know what, I'm going to make that fight happen with Loma. But I believe that Loma, he could fight Loma. He could have fought Gary Russell Jr., which would have been a huge fight in the D.C., Baltimore area. That would have been huge. Back in the day, there was a fight that could have been made between Tank and Tevin Farmer. You know, I mean, that fight at that time was big, and people wanted to see that fight. You know, that fight has, well, the time on that fight is past now. That fight is not gonna happen now, you know, because Tevin Farmer has lost, and there's no point now in Tank fighting him now. But I just believe that it's time for Tank to step up. You know, Tank is, like I said, he's getting up in age. He's the oldest out of everybody in the group, you know, and everybody else is still young. While, you know, Devin Haney is out here being undisputed. Shakur Stevenson's got a couple of belts. Like, these are things that Tank should have done already. You know, he should have been he should have been this. And there's no reason for him not to be that now. Like, he should already have been undisputed. He should have already had multiple belts. I don't count those regular belts as belts. I don't count that. Like, I count him actually out there fighting guys that is in his weight class, whatever weight class that may be, and he's out there fighting these guys. There's no excuse for Tank to be fighting no more Rollies, no more Leo Santa Cruzes, no more of these, guys, Ronald McDonald or, Chick-fil-A or whatever. It's like, there's no reason for him to be fighting these guys anymore. He needs to be fighting guys with names. Guys have been calling him out. They've been wanting to fight him. And I don't want to hear about why me. Why does everybody want to fight me? Because as Leonard Ellerby says, Tank is the best fighter in the world. So if Tank is the best fighter in the world, then Tank needs to fight the best fighters in the world. And that's what it needs to be. You can't be the best fighter in the world and you're not fighting the best fighters in the world. That's what it comes down to, man, and that's what you have to do. Otherwise, he's just going to be a guy that's just a star that just fights, guys for paydays. And that's what it looked like. That's the route. It seems like that's where he's headed. I remember when he was on the podcast with $1 million worth of game, and he said that he never asked for the big fights. And that's a huge problem. Like, anyone that wants legacy, man, is going to want going after the big fights. So, like I said, Tank is getting up in age. It's time for him to step up. It's time for him to make things happen because he's only getting older and everybody else is still, honestly, some of these guys haven't even reached their prime yet. Some of them haven't even reached their man strength yet. So it's even going to be scarier that these guys are still young and you're getting older. Like, the time is now. The time is now, and he don't have time to waste. I just don't see Tank being in the ring too much longer. Maybe about another few more years, but I can't see him being in this until his late 30s. I just don't see it. So the time is now. I want to see Tank in the ring with the best opposition. And again, this is not to hate on Tank. I'm not hating on him at all. All I'm saying is I just want to see him fight the best fighters in the world. If they're saying that he is the best fighter in the world, he's better than Dev, he's better than Lomachenko, he'll knock all these guys out. He'll knock out Ryan, he'll knock out Dev, he'll knock out Shakur, he'll knock out everybody else that's in there, Teofimo Lopez, everybody. He'll knock Regis Prograis out. He'll knock all these guys out. Okay, well, if he can do all that, and if everybody's hyping him up to be who he is, then it's time for him to fight them. Let's see it then. Let's see it. Why can we not see it? Why can we not see Tank show improved then? What is the problem? Even his own promotions don't even want to put him in the ring with these guys. What is going on? And to me, that just shows me that they don't have the true confidence in him to make these fights happen. And you can't tell me that it's anything different because that's what it's showing. Every time we ask these guys, well, put him in the ring with this. Well, that's not, what does he bring to the table? He didn't really sell his last fight. Like, okay, so he doesn't sell his last. That's what we're going by now. The fans want to see this fight, and you're not allowing the fans to see this fight because of ticket sales and things like that, which that's a lie because that is going to sell. It doesn't make any sense why it wouldn't. These are two young guys that are about to, that's about to get in the ring. And that's what's something we want to see. We want to see all these guys go at it. There's no reason for not one of these guys not going at it. There's too much talent in these weight classes, especially in the 135, 140 division. It's too much talent, too much young talent, and it's too much for these guys not to mix it up and make it happen and make sure that their legacies are secured, But as you know, that some of these boxers today, especially these new boxers, they're not about that. They're about Instagram and likes and follows and making sure that their pictures get, 500,000 likes and, that they get 1,000 comments saying that, yeah, this photo's dope right here, bro. Keep it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about now. It ain't about getting in the ring and fighting anymore. And it's not about being the best. it's just about just being the social media best. That is what it's about. You know, how many hits can I get on TikTok? How many followers can I get on Instagram? You know, that's what it's about now. The game has changed. Boxing game has changed. It really is now turning more and more into wrestling and the sports entertainment, where guys are cutting promos and jigs and I'm about to do this, and it's just funny, man, because I was a huge wrestling fan back in the 90s, so I'm a 90s baby, so it just reminds me so much of wrestling. It just reminds me too much about what they say. They gonna do this, they gonna knock this dude out, but it never comes to fruition. So like I said, this is not a hate-o take, man. Like I want Tank to fight the best fighters, man, and I want him to have a legacy, man. Like, I really want the best for Tank, but I want to see how Tank does against better opposition, man. I do. I'm tired of seeing him fighting these guys that we know he can beat. We know he can beat him. I know he can beat Rolly. That was easy. It looked easy, when I see him in the ring against him, like it wasn't even no thing for him. So, but I'm tired of seeing that. It's been years and years and years of this. Tank should have fought some of these guys, and it's a long list of guys, man, that he could have fought. And like I said, I'll go back through them again. There was Tevin Farmer. There was Lomachenko. There was, who else is out there? Like, you had those guys. Then you got Devin Haney right now. You got Shakur Stevenson, which, once he decides to clean up 130 or whatever that he decides to do, he's going to move up and wants to fight Tank. You got Teofimo Lopez. You got Ryan Garcia. Even though I don't really, put Ryan Garcia as that. I don't know why everybody thinks Ryan Garcia is what he is, because he's a clown. But you got him too. But you got so much. There's all them fighters, man. That's a lot of fighters, man. That's a long list of fighters that he could have had, or he could have had, or he could have right now. So he's got to step up, man. It's time. The time is now. I want to see Tank fight the best fighters. This is not a hate video. This ain't no, I don't like Tank. No, I like Tank, man. I want the best for Tank. I just want to see Tank get in the ring with some better opposition. It's time. Ain't no reason for him to not be one to fight the best fighters in the world. Like I said, if everybody else is calling him the best fighter in the world, and he'll knock this dude out, he'll knock that dude out, well, then it's time for him to prove it. He can't sit back and be fighting these dudes anymore. I don't want to see him fighting lawn chairs and, barbecue grill and potato chip. And, I don't want to see that no more, man. I'm tired of seeing that. Tank shouldn't be fighting these guys anymore. We already know the result. Tank gonna knock him out, or whatever the case may be. All I know is he's gonna win that fight. So it's time for him to step up. I want to see him in some 50-50 fights. I want to see him in some legacy fights. I want to see him show and prove what he can do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Who Tank should fight next? I just want to know what y'all think, man. What do y'all think? And again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Again, this is not a Tank. I'm not hating on Tank, man. I just want the best for Tank. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.